Dear friends, welcome to Titan Talks once again. Gives me great pleasure to welcome Abdulaziz to the show. Abdulaziz, welcome. Welcome to Dubai and to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Abdulaziz has held a lot of senior positions in the last 2 decades of his work experience. He has worked with the ministries, with the government. He's been involved in some very interesting projects, and we were talking backstage before we came on, some of which he may not share with us, but he's done some really incredible work, has been what I call a trendsetter in many ways in the field of technology, has done things much before some of us were thinking about technology. Marketing is his forte, very aggressive, very competitive, has done some incredible work in the field of technology, and we will walk through that path with him and understand more about what he believes is success, what has taken him to where he is, and what does he believe the future holds for us. So Abdulaziz, tell us something about your journey so far.
Well, growing up to be a little engineer, I once was about to burn our house doing an electrical experiment. So my dad forced me to stay in the shed. There's a room upstairs on the roof, and he prepared it for with every electrical equipment as a lab. So I would spend my entire day there fixing broken phones. Before we had radios and recorders. So yeah, that was mainly my enjoyment.
Technology has come a long way, and I know you've been a part of it before people spoke about technology. What really kept you glued to technology, and why the interest in technology?
Technology represents change, represents power for me in order to change my reality, my situation, enhance the lives of people around me. The only mean I can go through is technology. So I have always seen technology as the method or the way to be successful and be helpful to others.
Excellent. So while we are talking of technology, do you think it's an art or a science?
Well, it's a controversial thing. However, learning about technology is obviously a science. Knowing the roots of technology, the zeros and ones, is a science. It's what you do with it. That's the art. Sometimes we have a ticket support system that can be a CRM, an entire CRM. This is where the art comes. Using the tools you have, the technology you have, to do things that you never imagined. I mean, this is the artistic way of doing it. User experiences in multiple applications. Every application in the world is a form that inserts into a database, or a view that reads from the database. That's the science. But what makes Abshir stands between all of the other applications is user experience, is the ease of use. And this is nothing but an art.
Brilliant, brilliant. So that brings me to my next question. And you are a marketing guru, if I may call. How has the user experience and the expectations changed in the last 5 years?
Well, first, when we talk about computer or solutions, we think about solutions that work, that does the job. But today, no. Every other platform does the same job, does the same exact breaches, they say. However, it's how they do it. What people go away from Snapchat to Instagram, for example, they do the same exact function. Now we don't think about the functionality. Functionality now is a given. Applications should work, should do exactly what is asked for in the beginning. But how they do it is the competition, is where the competition is. uh, how they do, how they, what kind of icons they use for logging in, what kind of icons are using from, for example, refresh, if you want to refresh the page or you want to reset the form, which one is which. Now we speak through emojis and icons. Applications now should have no languages whatsoever, because we have now a common language that is emoji. So every emoji means something. Every icon is agreed upon to mean something, nothing else than that. So when you see a house, doesn't mean that they will build you a house. This is the main page. It will take you to the main landing page. So some icons means nothing but the common understanding. So if you make an entire application based on only those icons, without any language, I bet you people will be able to use it. Okay, this is one thing. Second, they will like it even more than the things that is written in their own language.
Wow.
Yeah, because this is something they can relate to in their subconscious. They recognize and familiar with. When I did my content management system, I made it look exactly like Microsoft Word, because people are familiar with Microsoft Word, so I will not find any difficulties promoting that my system to them, and they will be using it not knowing they're using a new application.
And that brings me to my next point. And I always believe, Abdulaziz, that technology is the biggest story today, period. And so how has it been when you were dealing with leaders, with decision makers? What hat do you wear when you go into the boardroom or you make a presentation of an idea? What goes through your mind?
First, you have to understand your audience. Sometimes your audience are conservative, so you have to stick with numbers and figures and accurate promises. Sometimes you are facing an audience of dreamers, youngsters. So this is where you go crazy. You bring the ideas, the inspiration behind the work. It's many times when you do one thing, there are many aspects influencing you, but you will tell every person the influencer that relates to him. So when you are in the board of directors, they're expecting numbers. You will say that your motivation is the decreasing numbers in your sales. But if you're talking with two developers, you will say, my inspiration is discovering this new language, new programming language, okay, and making the first project on that language. That's our challenge. This is my inspiration. Because they all inspire you. However, from different aspects, you speak to people in their own way of thinking. So we have a hadith that says, when you talk to people, talk to them in the things they understand, they relate to. And I have this hadith with me every time I go on stage.
Excellent, excellent. Okay. How have organizations, in your view, embraced technology today? I know it's an essential part of technology, but have you been in a scenario where somebody told you this will not work, and then you say no, I will? Have you been in a situation like that? Have you encountered? I'm sure you have.
Story of my life.
So please share an experience if you can.
Every time you have a different way of doing things, people tend to challenge you. Sometimes they just challenge you because they don't know how you will do it. They are not interested in knowing how you will do it, but this is the way it's usually done.
Okay.
Classic people, classic behavior. Some people, security seekers, they call them security seekers. They don't want to get fired. They don't want to invent. So I want to keep my job. On the contrary, I am the other guy who is willing to take risks in order to make a difference, in order to bring something new. I don't like doing the same thing the same way every time. I can't even get off my bed if I'm doing the same thing the same way, like every day. So if you don't have an everyday challenge, I'm not motivated to come to work.
What drives you to success?
Success is an overrated word.
Okay.
My driver is enjoyment. I enjoy my life. I enjoy my accomplishments.
Very nice.
Because currently success is measured by how much money you make. Sometimes success means how much your company is worth.
Yes.
For me, like the comparison between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla.
Very well said.
In everyone's perspective, someone is the successful.
Yes.
In my perspective, it's a different thing, different story there.
Excellent. And what do you do when you encounter a hurdle or you encounter a challenge? How does Abdulaziz act on it or work on it? Or
First, I think about my team. Who's the right person to help me to go through this challenge? Sometimes I will be on my own, but that's like rare times, and that has a rare, different scenario. But when I think about a challenge in a sunny day, I would think about the people who can help me in that specific challenge. So my real talent is not computers, not marketing, it's people.
people, brilliant. We'll talk more about it. But what was the one technology that you got hooked onto while growing up?
Electronics.
Can you tell us more about it?
I was fascinated about electronics, fascinated about making things, and when my dad had a saying, everything can be fixed if you fix it. Everything, whether it's a situation, whether it's a device, a relationship, everything can be fixed if you fix it. So when I see, before we had the landlines,
Yeah.
and the plugs looks,
Yeah, it'll come off.
yeah, they look the same as the electricity one. So people will plug it in the wrong place and they get burnt out. So, and I was like, they will buy another phone, that's it? It cannot be fixed? It's part of, you have to do something, driver in me. So I would take it to my shed, my lab,
Oh, wow.
okay? And I need the right tools to remove some parts and
Replace them, yeah?
replace them. I would gather up some money to buy those, and I'd fix them. Sometimes I succeed, many times I don't, but I learn.
What gives you joy?
Learning new things.
Really?
Learning new things about life, about work, about how people think. This is, trust me, one of the most important subjects.
So that brings me to the next question. I know you're an avid traveler. Share with us how you love traveling, why you love traveling, what are the experiences. Share with us something. Share with the viewers something that...
Well, my preference in countries is according to the people of the country, not necessarily the scenery or the buildings or the malls. No, mainly I'm into people of that country. If I would name names, I would say New Zealand is one of my best destinations.
Wow.
Because how friendly the people there are.
Very nice.
They are very friendly, they are welcoming. So when I go there, I feel like home.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, some other countries, they are really advanced, but people are not willing to speak to you in a language, the only language you know, and they know, but they wouldn't speak to you in that language. Some people were just, in general, rude, superstitious, and I don't have to. I mean, I'm paying money, right? So I will go. I will go to the country that I feel welcomed and feel comfortable, regardless of God made this entire planet, and He made it equally beautiful. So you cannot say that this country is more beautiful than that country. There is a beauty, equal amount of beauty in every country. It's just you don't know where you're looking.
Are you a foodie?
I am.
What's your favorite dish? And from which part of the world?
Well, I tend to eat the food of the country because it teaches you a lot about the people of that country. But sometimes it's impossible to eat their food. So we have me and my brother Ahmed. We travel a lot, and we have like a plan when we are stuck with menus. Sometimes they're written in a different language that we'd never know. Even if it's in your language, you will be surprised by the dish that you will end up with. So if it's a language that you don't understand, you will say, "Can you call the cook?"
You talk to him.
I bring the cook, and I said, "Do you know?" I give him the names of all of the vegetables I know.
Wow.
If he clicks with one, I said, "That one." Chicken, he doesn't know chicken. Buck, buck, buck. Chop, chop, chop.
Really? Wow.
Bring.
Wow. That's it.
This is my survival toolkit.
Last 3 years, 4 years, I mean, we spoke about Snapchat, I know we spoke about Instagram. A lot of technologies have come, and these are startups, youngsters who have come. Which, in your opinion, is the one technology that has actually had an impact on our lives? Good or bad, doesn't matter.
Well, I'm driven by my kids' preferences.
Which one are they excited about, for example?
Yeah, which one excites them the most, and I have to be with them. If I can't be with them in the house, I have to be with them in the social network they prefer.
Okay.
So it's not up to me whether I go
They
to.
drive your desires.
Yeah, but I will see where they are, and I will stay with them and be their friend.
Very nice.
Be their friend, comment and applaud their successes, and frown upon some of their wrong doings.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, practicing my parenthood
Yes.
over the sideline.
Online. How do you think the youngsters or teenagers view technology? How different do they look at it from us?
They see technology as a given. We see technology as a bless,
Yes.
as a plus. We see technology as a perk. But no, this is basic requirements. If I don't pay for the internet subscription, I'm a bad father. To them, I am the worst kind of father in the world. But because they see internet as a given. If they don't have a smartphone or a computer, they will be upset. They might think about suing you because you're taking away one of their rights.
Yeah.
You have to be understandable of these things, and don't be dramatic, and roll with the flow.
And I agree with you, and I like what you said, because I've had an experience with this, and we normally when we sit to eat at dinner, you have the kids as well. If the phone rings, you normally don't take the phone and you continue eating and chatting with the family. And we were at one such dinner, and at his friend's house, and the phone rang, and he's a teenage boy, and he picked up the phone and he spoke. So his father admonished him and he said, "No, you shouldn't be doing this." But so the kid's reaction was very funny, and he never. First of all, he didn't think it was impolite, and secondly, he said, "Dad, it's not polite to keep the other guy to not respond to the other guy's call." And I'm saying, wow, we never thought about it like that, right? So they are probably here, but then they're also thinking that somebody is calling, needs to be responded to. So, and that I thought was very different.
Exactly.
reaction,
This
right?
is exactly what we were discussing a few days ago, that if you're in the middle of a discussion and someone is calling you, so which one has their priority?
Yes, yes.
And I would say the one who engaged you first.
Correct, with you.
Okay? Being an old generation,
Yeah.
I would ask the one on the phone, if I meet someone, I will tell him, I'll call you later. So I have to greet someone. Because meeting people in person is more sacred.
I like the word you used.
Okay? So you have to give it the right secrecy. If you don't deal with it with this momentum, you will lose the human side of you. Okay? And you have to teach your kids to have this sense of the sense of other human sitting next to you. He has the first priority over anything else. And when you push the red button on your phone, that means you're busy.
Yeah.
Thank you, message delivered.
Yeah.
And there's a quick response messages.
Correct.
Put your story of your life in that and send it. It's not a big deal. This guy can wait. This guy is here.
They respect you.
Yeah.
How do you, we have all grown up in the era where the rate of change is really fast. How do you keep abreast of all the developments, whether it's technology or some other field? What do you do to?
That's a deep one.
Yeah.
How to keep up with new technology. Sometimes you have to pretend.
Correct. Yeah, it happens to all of us.
Okay? Sometimes you have to pretend like knowing what's going on, and you have to learn the script to engage in a conversation in that subject. Knowing this, I think, is enough for you to, this is the minimal requirements, instead of saying, I don't know. I'm no longer there. I know Pascal. If you are the best person in Pascal, for example, once upon a time, I was the only designer, developer, and trainer on Macromedia Flash.
Wow.
Okay? That's once upon a time.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I will stick to that legacy. Khalas. Next day is another challenge.
Correct.
So when in King Saud University, we were planning to make a website for the Holy Quran with recitation. Okay? So they said we will recite using Shockwave, Macromedia Flash. And I was like, no, we're going HTML5. That's like 12 years ago.
Wow.
They said,
Wow.
it's not supported.
Yeah, it was not even.
It's not even supported, only in Safari.
Correct.
And I hated iPhones.
Yeah.
So I said, then Safari it is. Do it in HTML5 because I don't see any future for Flash.
Flash. And you're right.
So that time they were impressed because they know that I am the guru of Flash. In
And
that
you still
time,
chose to move
I
away.
am the one who trained all of them to use Flash. However, we have to move on. With technology, there is no such a thing as loyalty to a language or a technology. If you are loyal, then you are just lazy. You are not loyal. You're lazy to learn new things. You're lazy to open your mind. It's opening your mind. It needs a neural elasticity.
Correct.
You have to have this plasticity in your brain to be able to receive something new, some new concepts. What our country is going through right now needs a lot of plasticity, neuroplasticity.
Correct.
So if we don't have this, we will not be able to, we will reject everything new. Women driving? No. Women don't drive. Yeah, they don't drive, but there's no reason they don't drive. So yeah, why not? What's the reason they don't drive? I don't think of any, but they don't usually drive. Yeah, you know, but now they will drive. Now they're driving. Saudis, they adapt to this very quickly because they have this neuroplasticity. And the same thing, electronic services. Abshir, and the journey, the entire journey, is all online. Older generation, they're not familiar with smartphones. They're not familiar with phones. Okay, but many older generation, they're using they're using WhatsApp. My mother-in-law, she's using Snapchat. She's chatting with me on Snapchat, and I was like, she's
good.
more than 70.
Yeah, it's good.
And I love it. I enjoy talking to her on Snapchat, especially that I almost get the grasp of it. Okay, she's a pro there. This neuroplasticity is the reason we're moving forward. This is the reason we're trying to catch up our neighbors, yet we have surpassed them in a long way without noticing. Okay, when I come here to Dubai, in the airport, I had 0 queues. In the Riyadh airport, 0 queues, and and 0 human intervention. When I came to Dubai, it's the same exact thing. No queues, no human intervention. You just put your boarding pass, you pass the first gate, you put your passport, you pass the second gate. In Dubai, it's the same thing. Just watch the camera, that's it, you're done. In GITEX, also, there were no queues.
Yes.
Because they told me when I applied online, they told me to upload my picture. So I uploaded a picture. So when I arrived at GITEX, I went to the empty area that has no queues whatsoever with the camera. I said, I applied online, check my face, recognize my face. The camera recognized my face, printed my card.
Yes.
Just like this, instantly. So
that's technology for you.
That's plasticity.
Yeah. And
I mean, adapting new things. And even if they do the craziest thing, I will challenge them that I will be on the top of it.
Right, brilliant. What has been your single accomplishment, largest accomplishment, if you look back on the next 2-3 years, and you say, I'm proud of this, big or small, that's close to your heart?
I am the closest kid to his mother until now. So this is my biggest accomplishment.
Awesome. Well said.
I am her favorite. So this is my greatest accomplishment. Anything else?
Very well said.
Anything else is just a compliment to this.
So nice to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Excellent. What have there been days when you have thought of quitting?
Every day.
And what keeps you going then?
My belief in myself that I am bigger than that challenge. The people around me, I feel responsible about the people I brought in. Whenever I have a disappointment, I'll be glued by the people that is around me, and I cannot let them go. I want to quit the job, just I can't quit the team.
If you are not in technology, Abdulaziz, where would you be?
Construction.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is the reason for that, if I may ask?
I'm a minimalist person. Okay. I like minimalism. When it comes to technology, why we bring a big database if we need to solve a small problem? We can't solve big problems with very simple means. Remember the old story of making a ball pen that works on space?
Yes.
And the story says that the Russians use pencils instead. And this is the way I see life. Everything can do it. Anything can do it. So my footprint on this planet should be minimal. And the biggest pain in what we're suffering now from is how our houses are consuming space, consuming cement and polluting substances, consuming energy.
Yes.
It's like ovens that stores the sun heat and release more heat through air conditioning. But the way I see houses is different. Houses should be a place you enjoy. It's home. It should look like you, not like what people are expecting you to do. This is your house. Let it be yours. So I think about different unorthodox ways of making your life through house which you spend most of your life in. In technology, also I believe in open source, because open source makes sense to me. You share your ideas, you give away your innovation to the world, you share it, no one can steal your credit, and no one, any developer can contribute. Whether he's short, tall, whether he's young, old, his contribution is well recognized, is well written under his own name. He earned his accomplishment. But this is not the way with other types of software. In commercial software, you are just another gear in that machine. What you do is nameless. Okay, your accomplishments is a crime, because you cannot say this is your accomplishment. This is the teamwork. This is the company. No, this is my accomplishment. I did this. I earned it. Okay, being part of the team is not in conflict with owning my work. We are a team. It's like the table and the chair. The chair has a function. The table has a different function. If the chair says no, I don't sit people. We all the living room do. No. I hold people, while you hold the food for people. This is your function. You have to be proud of it. You have to own it. And it doesn't conflict with being part of the team.
Excellent. So I liked what you said on minimalistic. You should read the book. I don't know if you've read it, The Art of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. She talks about keeping your house clean and not using. And all of us, we do tend to accumulate stuff and buy stuff. And that same goes with organizations and technology as well. So thank you very much, Abdulaziz. It was lovely. So ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Mr. Abdulaziz himself. Some of the key takeaways for me, the biggest takeaway has been his quest for learning. Learning as the day goes, learning each day, keep on going. And his most prized accomplishment is really his closeness, his proximity to his mother, and I think that really touched my heart. That's really something very nice. 3, challenge yourself in what you do, challenge yourself in what you can do and how you can take it forward, and don't take no for an answer. 3 things. And 4th and most important, keep abreast of whatever is happening around you. Keep your eyes open, and I liked his travel example. When he doesn't understand the language, the guy who's taking the order doesn't understand his sign, he calls the cook and he explains to the cook in terms of what he needs and what he wants, and that's the way to communicate. So a lot of experience, a lot of learnings, and I hope you made some notes. It was a pleasure having you on the show, Abdulaziz. It was so wonderful, and
thank you
always a delight. Thank you very much. Thank you.